Welcome to the Mount Pleasant Podcast, featuring discussions and interviews about the people, places, and events that make Mount Pleasant such a special place.
This is the Mount Pleasant Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Cleary, and all thanks to the great people of Mount Pleasant Magazine, I get the honor, the privilege of introducing you to Mount Pleasant, the people who make it such a special place to do business, to work, and even to live. We're introducing you to Mount Pleasant's best on the Mount Pleasant Podcast. For our first podcast of 2025, we're going to look forward to some of the great events that'll be happening in the town of Mount Pleasant, and no better person to talk to about that than the Community Affairs and Marketing Division Chief for the town of Mount Pleasant. We welcome Nicole Harvey to the Mount Pleasant Podcast. Nicole, every year is busy in the town of Mount Pleasant. Seems like we're always adding new events, but we seem to kick off the year always with the Sweetgrass Half Marathon coming up in February.
Yes. Can you believe we've been doing this for 5 years now?
Wow.
I feel like the last 5 years flew by, but it is a really fun event. We're so excited to be celebrating the 5th year. We are certifying. We're in the process right now of certifying a new and improved course. So for all the runners watching who have done it before, you're going to love the course this year even more. Less turns, more kind of curves instead.
And it's still a scenic route because we're going to take you out through Carolina Park. You've got the marshes. I mean, one of the best things about the run, and there's a lot of good things, is how scenic the course is.
Yeah, well, and in our town, we very much value our trees. So lots of wooded areas you run by, some really pretty ponds, and that the whole area there is very close to waterways and things. So it is a very scenic, pretty route. I'm really excited to incorporate this new area around a big pond into the course. And so we can't wait to get it done. And we also, two big new improvements, fun things for our 5th anniversary. We also this year are having upgraded. Everybody loves our shirts, the hoodies. You've seen them, Brian. Everybody's always like, oh, we love that you do the hoodies. Well, this year we're going to have an upgraded, even better hoodie than we've had with our new sponsor, Vapor Apparel. And they're working on a really cool design for us. So just stay tuned.
And Saturday, February 22nd is that half marathon. And one of the things that always impresses me every year, the prizes for the winners, but then the finishing medals, the finishing award that is given to everybody. You guys always have some unique twist on it.
We do. We'd like to do, of course, Sweetgrass basket making is one of the founding cultural aspects of Mount Pleasant. So between our maritime, our fishermen and shrimpers, and our Sweetgrass basket makers, we have two incredibly rich historical things that have contributed to the formation of our town. And so we love honoring those two things. So as part of the Sweetgrass Half Marathon, of course, we give beautiful baskets made by local weavers. We switch out the weavers every year so that if the same person wins, they get a different kind of unique basket. But we've had a lot of different winners, which has been really exciting. And then for our medals, we do a wooden, like a really nice wooden, sustainable, really pretty, engraved, although this year we're putting a new twist on it. It's going to be printed so it can be colorful and fun also. So we've got a lot of fun things in the works for this year, and it's going to be really exciting. I can't wait to see everybody's reactions.
The Park West Recreation Complex is the place to be on Saturday, February 22nd, the 5th annual Sweetgrass Half Marathon put on by the town of Mount Pleasant. But Nicole, that's not the only race that'll happen that day. After the marathon, we've got the Weenies.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This is the funnest thing. I mean, the laughter that goes on is really priceless. And I hear every year, I have heard so many people say, oh my gosh, they just are giggling and I just needed this so much. Running of the Weenies, come on. It is so fun. We have this really cool, imagine the Kentucky Derby gates opening, but it's tiny for dachshunds. And so it's kind of like a dachshund mosh pit in the football field at Park West. And it is the funniest thing. Those dachshunds just go crazy running around and chasing each other and flipping all over each other. And then, of course, we have I'll tell you that one of the funniest stories I thought last year. You remember the person had the big, giant Great Dane.
Yes.
And oh my gosh, he was gorgeous. And the little tiny dachshunds would run up to him and he was like terrified. And I thought, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen, because you could totally bite him. You could eat him like a hot dog. But oh, it was so funny. But yeah, so, it is a lot of fun, people and dog watching. And the dogs that race are just adorable. And how can you go wrong, right? With a bunch of silly dogs running around a football field. The one time we let them on our football field.
The hot dog dogs will be front and center. It's just a great event. One that you just have to see to believe and experience. Again, that's coming up on Saturday, February 22nd at the Park West Recreation Complex. It's the back half of the 5th annual Sweetgrass half marathon that's coming up. As we look forward to 2025, we've got the new year on. What else is going to happen in the town of Mount Pleasant? Well, Nicole Harvey is joining us today here on the Mount Pleasant podcast to fill us in.
You're listening to the Mount Pleasant Podcast.
I'm Brian Cleary. After that, Nicole, we move on to March, and March will feature the annual ArtFest.
Yeah, we're working on ArtFest with Town Center. And of course, Kathy Herman's a great partner in that event in the Town Center shopping complex. They just, shopping center, I should say, mall. That's a great event. Also, oh my gosh, I should know that off the top of my head. March 23rd, 2nd.
22nd.
Yes, of course you know better than I do. Anyway. And then, so that's a really fun event with a lot of, and we're talking about kind of doing some changes to that to add some fun new things to that as well. But I won't spill the beans on that yet. And then, of course, that leads us right into April, which is our busiest month of the year, except maybe the holiday season in December. But in April, we start off with the Bridge Run, which of course isn't our event, but we play a big role in that. And then we'll open the farmers market the first Tuesday in April, and that'll run every Tuesday through September. And we have another fun thing in the works, which would be a market in the north area of Mount Pleasant. Details on that will be forthcoming as well. And then, of course, we end with the greatest event. Speaking of our shrimpers, we will bless all of our shrimpers at the Blessing of the Fleet and Seafood Festival, which is always the last Sunday of April. So, all the dates and all that information. You of course always are kind enough to put all of our information on your calendars as well, but you can also find it all at experiencemountpleasant.com/events. And yeah, it's going to be an amazing year. I'm looking forward to 2025 is going to be great.
So we'll kind of start the new year with the Sweetgrass Half Marathon, February 22nd. Then the big event in the spring, of course, the Sunday, April 27th, Blessing of the Fleet. It's possible, I don't see how, but it's possible that somebody here in the town of Mount Pleasant hasn't been out to the Blessing of the Fleet. I'm not sure why that would be. But for somebody who hasn't been there, Nicole, how do you describe this event?
Oh, my goodness. Well, all of our big festivals, wherever we can do it, we keep our admission and everything free to come. And so it is, that in and of itself is a very unique aspect. But, we owe a lot of our town to the shrimpers and fishermen who came here long before all of us, except for the basket makers. And so hundreds of years ago in the Mediterranean, the fishing fleet at the start of the fishing season would be blessed. And so we have been carrying that tradition on for almost 40 years. Wow. So yeah, we'll be having a big anniversary coming up soon. And it's live music, it's local seafood, it's a bunch of great local seafood restaurants and caterers and providers, and Top Shelf Catering puts together a beer garden for us, and a lot of arts and crafts, and people locally made, handmade items. And the Mount Pleasant Artists Guild has a juried art exhibit. It is a huge day full of everyone can find something that they love to do at the Blessing.
And one of the cool things about it that I've always experienced, if you think, because there actually is, for people who don't realize it, an actual blessing, the shrimp fleet,
Yes.
Sails by the Mount Pleasant Pier there. But the blessing event itself is really a very cool, unique part of the celebration.
It is. We love it. We have the Charleston Port and Seafarers Society always helps us out, and then we rotate a guest minister as well from the town. And it is such a symbolic and beautiful thing that the captains always tell us is very important to them. They're out at sea for sometimes a long time, and the sea is not always your friend. I mean, she's a beautiful lady, but she's not always kind. So they very much rely on having that blessing, and it means a lot to them. And so for us on the spectator side, it is a fun and very cool thing to watch, kind of reverent and for the families, it is incredibly important and very meaningful to them, and certainly to the captains and crews and to their vessels. It means a lot for them to have just to have the prayers said over themselves for a really good season ahead. So, and then we get to eat everything that they get.
That's right. Bring on the shrimp. The Community Affairs and Marketing Division Chief for the town of Mount Pleasant, Nicole Harvey, joining me, Brian Cleary, today on the Mount Pleasant podcast, where the pages of Mount Pleasant magazine come alive. All those events that happen in the town, you see them in black and white in print, and then we talk about them here today. We're focused on the blessing of the fleet. If we can just narrow down a little bit, Nicole, one of the things that, particularly over the last couple of years after we lost Captain Magwood, the focus on what his family has meant to this event, and how are we coming along in terms of the statue and everything around Captain Magwood?
Oh my goodness, it's looking amazing. Tressie and I went down to see the clay mold that the sculptor is creating, and you might have seen there was a front page article actually in Post and Courier with Tressie. I mean, it was like she walked in the room and saw her dad. And so just last week, or just not too long ago, the other sisters all went down. And of course, a good bit more progress has been made. So we are super excited because part of Fleet Week this year, we always plan some activities around Fleet Week. And so part of that will be installing our fisherman shrimper patriarch. And people are going to be blown away. She did an amazing job. I mean, we haven't seen the bronze yet, but the clay it's just incredible. It'll blow everybody away. You're going to feel like it was like he was standing in the room with us. And so that sculpture is going to be installed on the pedestrian boardwalk at Shem Creek Park. So behind him will be the fleet. It'll be a wonderful place to take your picture with Captain Wayne, since so many of us didn't get a real chance to say goodbye to him. Oh my gosh, you're going to make me tear up. And we're so excited about that. It's been a long time coming. We've been working on this project for a good bit of time. And of course, Tressie Magwood and the sisters, the whole family, deserve huge kudos because they did a lot of community fundraising to get this thing done. And we're so excited.
If you haven't blocked out the date on your calendar yet, do it right now. Again, another free event in the town of Mount Pleasant, the annual Blessing of the Fleet and Seafood Festival on Sunday, April 27th, always the final Sunday of the month. Nicole, if let's dive deep here for a second. Shrimp. You're going to have shrimp one way. Which way are you going to have it?
Oh, fried. I mean, I love shrimp in many, many forms, but you just can't go wrong with a good old fried shrimp.
100% with you on that. Absolutely.
My granddaddy always said seafood should be fried. Yeah, well, he was another generation, but yeah. I kind of agree. Maybe not all the time if we want to save our heart, but
that's right. Maybe not the healthiest, but certainly the tastiest. And so Blessing of the Fleet, another free event, the Mount Pleasant ArtFest that'll go down at the Town Center on March 22nd. That's a free event. It seems like that seems to be a focus for the Town of Mount Pleasant events. You touched on that a little bit ago, but free means so much to the community. How is it that you're able to continue these big events, but not have to charge admission?
Well, of course, we have wonderful partners and sponsorships with people like you all. And your Charleston Radio Group has been an amazing partner, but also Harris Teeter. And we just have East Cooper Medical Center has been a great partner, Novant Health. And I could go on, and it would take a long time, so I won't. But everybody can find all this information on our website, which I mentioned before, because throughout the year, there is always something happening in Mount Pleasant. So, some of our events are 20, 30, 40 years old, and they really truly are ingrained in the culture of Mount Pleasant. And, we have a lot of new people who move here, of course, whether you like that or not, that is our reality. And they learn a lot about the community that they've joined when they come and do these community events. And it means a lot to the residents all get together, and they remember, that some of them have been coming since they were kids, and they're now bringing their kids, which is really fun for us to see. We see that a lot. And people just love it. And so the town has also dedicated, of course, resources, towards, putting all these things on for our community, because it's, this is how we make our memories, right? You yes. remember things. What I remember of my childhood is the concerts I went to with my parents, and the fun events, and the fairs, and all that kind of stuff. So, we just like to make sure that everybody has access to that. And it's a beautiful thing to watch unfold. You've been to so many of them with us every year for my almost 15 years with the town. So we appreciate you. I know you've watched them all grow up too. Some of them have grown immensely. So
yes.
We appreciate the support from our sponsors, our support from the town. A lot of our events get a lot of funding through our accommodations tax. So that means that it's not really coming out of our property taxes, et cetera. It's something that our tourists help pay for too, because they enjoy coming, and then also our residents enjoy it as well. So.
And it's awesome that some of the events, Blessing of the Fleet, we're talking about 10,000 people there. And then some of the smaller events that may happen around City Hall, just a couple of hundred, but you've got something for everything for every member of the family. These are all fun, free, family-friendly events. And again, for people who want to find out more about the individual event, the best place would go to the website? experiencemountpleasant.com/events. And you can see we have them sorted out by season. So whatever month you're in, check it all out. And there's also on that website, there's a lot of community events too that aren't our events. So you can find lots of different things to do there. So go to the website. This is also information that you'll find in the pages of Mount Pleasant Magazine. There's always a healthy list of community events and things that are happening in the town. You'll find on the pages of Mount Pleasant Magazine. And of course, we try to highlight them here on the Mount Pleasant podcast. Nicole Harvey, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you, Brian. It's always wonderful to see you.
Going to be a busy 2025 and another great year in the town of Mount Pleasant. And we'll look forward to highlighting all these events throughout the year here on the Mount Pleasant Podcast.
Thanks for spending your time with the Mount Pleasant Podcast, your community, your podcast. Listen to past and future episodes at mountpleasantpodcast.com.